G'day everyone, welcome to the third week of Footy Tips TV, round 3 of the NRL. I'm Jimmy Smith.
And I'm Lana Taylor.
And just to clear up for everyone, we got 5 out of 8 last week.
We did, Jimmy, the same scores, and that's what happens when you copy my tips. You can't catch up on me.
Okay, well, we're not going to copy this week.
No.
I don't think. Let's go to the first game. It's the Eels up against the Tigers. It's at Parramatta Stadium, and it's an 8 o'clock kickoff. Please note that because of the World Swimming Championships. The other thing to note is Nathan Hindmarsh is back.
Absolutely, Jimmy. He's confirmed back in the side, which is fantastic. So too, Eric Growth. This is a really tough game, but interesting because the Tigers and the Eels have not been in great form, winless. I really look through the lineup for the Eels, and I just think it's too strong. And being at Parramatta Stadium, I can't help but go with them, particularly with Hindmarsh back.
Well, I'm going the Tigers. I think Benji Marshall can play a lot better. It'll be dry. I think it'll be dry, so that'll suit Benji Marshall on the Tigers, so I'm going the Tigers.
Big tip.
That one. Big tip. The Broncos and the Panthers is the other Friday night game up there at Suncorp Stadium, and apparently, unbelievably, Darren Lockyer is going to play for the Bronx.
Well, that's huge news, and I think if he does, it really does change the dynamic of this tip. I actually have to first of all say I stand corrected on the Panthers. They were fantastic last week, certainly the biggest turnaround from round 1 to round 2, and I didn't think I was going to tip them ever. But they were fantastic, but with Lockyer back, it's a tough one. I'm going to tip the Broncos.
Okay, with Lockyer back, it's an easy one. Broncos for mine. The other game is the Dragons and the Cowboys. That's on Saturday at 5:30 down there at Wynn Stadium. And speaking of returns, Matty Head is back for the Dragons. I think that's a massive positive for them.
I definitely think so. I mean, he always brings a lot of structure to the team. He's he's one of the smartest players going around. So I think that'll be really good. And down at Wynn, they'll get a great crowd. Having said that, I have one word around the Cowboys, and it's Hansel from the Zoolander movie. They're so hot right now.
That's several words, but it works. Jonathan Thurston is so hot right now. How do you stop him? And that's the big question that the Dragons are going to have to find. For the Dragons, Tony Kane, he's going to get his hands on the ball a lot more. Of course, no Simon Wolford, so he's going to be under pressure. But for mine, the Cowboys are just playing so well, I think they'll win down there and win handsomely. The fourth game is on Saturday night at 7:30. It's the Sharks up against the Rabbitohs. It's at Toyota Park. The kickoff is 7:30, and let me guess. It's the Rabbitohs again, Lana?
It is, Jimmy. They were in great form last week. So much natural talent in that team. And I think they're now playing as a team as well. So I'm confident that they'll get another victory up.
I think this is going to be a really tight game. I actually thought the Sharks played well last week. They missed out on the cash against the Titans. I think they can go very close, but not close enough. I think the Rabbitohs...
You're on the bandwagon, Jimmy.
I'm on the bandwagon. Why not? The game on Sunday, it's Super Sunday this week, not Super Saturday. It's a midday start down at Olympic Park. It's the Storm and the Warriors. And the Warriors have got a pretty good record down there, Lana.
They do. You know, the only team to beat the Storm there last year, and they're in form so far this year. I think it's going to be a fantastic clash, but it's really hard to tip against the Storm down there. So I'm going to stick with the safe one there. And
yeah, the Storm are winning, but they're not even playing well. They're playing in second gear and
they're
still
cruising.
Winning. Yeah, and it's guys like Inglis and Slater and now Israel Folau. You can't take your eye off them. They can score length of the field tries. That makes the Storm so dangerous. If they do click, and they will click soon, they're going to put a big score on some team. I don't think it's going to be the Warriors, but I think they're going to win this game and win comfortably. The Bulldogs and the Titans is an interesting game. That's a 2 o'clock kickoff out at Telstra Stadium. And from all reports, Bulldogs a little embarrassed by their performance on Friday night.
Yeah, Luke Patton has come out saying that it was an embarrassing performance, which it was. And I think everyone has labelled them as premiership favourites coming into this year. And I think they actually want to now start performing that way. So it's very hard to tip against the Bulldogs week in, week out. And I can't again this week. I'm going to have to go with them. Yeah,
the Titans... They won on Monday night. They won their first ever game, but they weren't so impressive. They snuck over the line, but in saying that, you know, what sort of form line do we take out of that game with the Sharks? The Bulldogs were terrible. Steve Folkes has admitted as much. He's giving Ben Roberts another chance, despite the fact he said he had a shocker. I think, like you, they've got too many good players, and they'll be stung by that loss last week. So I think the Bulldogs in that game. The other game on a Sunday afternoon, it's the Channel 9 game. It's the Roosters up against the Sea Eagles at Aussie Stadium. Now, the Roosters are battling.
The Roosters are battling. They're going to turn it around eventually. I have no doubt there'll be a game where they come out and win. Whether or not it's this weekend, I'm not sure. I know that Matty Orford's still not been named in the Seagulls lineup, and Monahan did a good job on the weekend. I think here I'm still going to tip the Sea Eagles because I just still think the Roosters are actually regressing.
Oh, good word. And
That means going backwards,
right,
Jimmy.
and so at
going
too.
backwards.
That's right. I was going to pretend that I knew it. No, I knew. Yeah, I'm going to tip the Sea Eagles as well because they're progressing. The Raiders and the Knights is on Monday night. You can hear it on Triple M at 7 o'clock kickoff down there at Canberra Stadium. And the big Willie or won't he? Joey, is he back for the Knights?
Well, for me, this is one that's got me in two minds. I was certain I was going to tip the Raiders on this one because it's down at Canberra Stadium.
Yes.
I was impressed with their form against the Storm. But with Joey named in that side, it just throws yourself into disarray. So I've been toing and froing, Jimmy. I'm going to go with the Knights.
Oh, no disarray for me. I think the Knights will win down there and win well. They've been winning without him. So, and a couple of those guys, Jared Mullen, Kurt Gidley, playing very well. So I think the Knights will get the job done down there in the nation's capital. Now, you've got a final tip for us, please, Lana?
Yeah, I do, Jimmy. I think it could be a bit average this week, but
Right.
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
You're right. It's very average this week. Better to live on your knees. What is it? Better to live on your feet than die on your knees? No, I've butchered that completely. Better to die on your feet than live on your knees? Well, I don't think so because you're dead. Until next week, see you later.
See you later.